If you feel this message speaks to something deeper inside you, stay with me and follow this channel for more reflections like this. Have you ever had a quiet moment, late at night, when everything slows down and a question appears, almost out of nowhere, not loud, not urgent, just quietly present. What if my body isn't actually breaking down the way I've always been told? Because for most of our lives, we've been given a very specific story, that getting older means getting weaker, that illness is inevitable, that pain, fatigue, and decline are simply part of time passing, like a machine that slowly wears out, and over time, we stop questioning it. A stiff joint becomes normal, a tired morning becomes expected, a diagnosis becomes just life. We're told it's biology, we're told it's age, we're told it's unavoidable, but there is something about this belief that doesn't quite fit, because every single night, while you are asleep, your body is repairing itself, without effort, without awareness, without needing your permission. Cells damaged during the day begin to restore. Your brain clears out waste that has built up. Hormones rebalance. Your immune system quietly scans and corrects. Small internal injuries begin to heal. All of this happens even when you are completely unconscious, night after night. So let's pause here for a moment. If your body were truly weak, if it were truly designed to fail, why would it spend hours, every single night, trying to repair you? Which version feels closer to the truth? That your body is slowly giving up, or that it is still working for you, even when you're not paying attention? This isn't about rejecting medicine. Medicine has its place. It saves lives. It matters in moments of crisis. But maybe what's missing is not treatment. It's understanding. Because we were taught how to fight disease, but rarely were we taught how healing actually works. If you know someone who has spent years blaming their body, consider sharing this with them. Because what if the body was never the problem? What if the misunderstanding is how we've been taught to see it? For many people, this realization doesn't come suddenly. It arrives quietly. A small shift in perspective. A moment of reflection. A question that lingers longer than expected. Maybe I was never told the whole story. And once that thought appears, it's difficult to ignore. Step away from the body for a moment and look at nature. Not through belief, not through theory. Just observe. A forest burns, and new growth begins. Seasons shift, and life adapts. Rivers are blocked, and they find another path. Nothing in nature is random. Everything responds. Everything adjusts. Everything seeks balance. And your body is no different. Your heart doesn't beat randomly. It follows rhythm. Your breath moves in cycles. Your sleep resets your nervous system. Millions of cells are replaced every second, not once in a while, not occasionally. But constantly. This is not chaos. This is order. So here is a question we rarely allow ourselves to ask. Would something so precise, so structured, so responsive, be created without the ability to maintain itself? Or is it more likely that your body was designed with an intelligence built into it, an ability to restore balance when the conditions are right? Healing, then, is not something rare. It is not reserved for the lucky. It is not a miracle that happens only to a few. It is a process, a natural function, quiet law operating inside your body every single day. And illness, perhaps it is not punishment, perhaps it is communication, a signal that something has moved out of alignment. Because if you look honestly at modern life, you begin to see the pattern. Constant stimulation, constant urgency, constant pressure. Sleep becomes shorter. Stress becomes normal. Silence becomes uncomfortable. And over time, the body adapts. Until it can no longer maintain balance. And when that happens, symptoms appear, not as betrayal, but as signals. Signals asking for attention. Signals asking for change. But here's what most people don't realize. Even then, even in stress, even in imbalance, every single night, Your body is still trying to repair what it can. So why do so many people feel like healing isn't happening? Because healing is quiet, pain is loud, fear is loud, symptoms demand attention, but healing whispers. It shows up in small ways. A slightly deeper sleep than yesterday. A moment of calm where there used to be tension. A bit more energy. Just enough to notice. A subtle sense that something is stabilizing. These changes don't feel dramatic. So we overlook them. We wait for something big. Something instant. Something undeniable. But the body doesn't work that way. It works slowly, consistently, silently. Every night. Your body is not asking, did I fix everything? It is asking, what can I restore today? With what I've been given. And it does what it can. Not perfectly, but faithfully. The problem is not that healing isn't happening. The problem is, we don't recognize it. And sometimes, we interrupt it, without realizing. Because here is a difficult truth. It's not always what we're lacking. It's what we keep adding. More stress, more pressure, more control, more fear. We live in a way that rarely allows the body to fully recover. Even at night, the mind is active. Even at rest, the body is tense. And yet we expect complete healing. Imagine trying to heal a wound while reopening it again and again. That is what constant stress does. That is what rushing does. That is what ignoring your body does. Your body is still trying to repair, but it is also being interrupted again and again. If this feels familiar, you're not alone. Many people are only now beginning to see this clearly. Healing doesn't require perfection. It requires permission, and permission only exists when interference is reduced. This is where everything begins to shift, because healing is not a battle. It was never meant to be. Your body is not something you need to fight. It is something you need to work with. Support. Trust. Understand. You are not the mechanic fixing a broken system. You are the guardian of the conditions. When you reduce noise, the body begins to listen. When you create space, the system begins to reset. When you slow down, rhythm returns. And when you stop fighting, something remarkable begins to happen. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but quietly. Sleep deepens. Energy becomes more stable. The mind softens. The body begins to feel safer. Stronger. More like itself again. Healing is not something you chase. It is something you return to. A return to rhythm. A return to awareness. A return to connection with your own body. Because your body has never left you. Even when you ignored it. Even when you doubted it. Even when you pushed it too far. It stayed. And every night, it continued repairing what it could. So the real question is no longer, can the body heal? The real question is, are we willing to return to the conditions that allow it? That return doesn't require extreme changes. It begins with small shifts. Listening instead of ignoring. Resting instead of pushing. Breathing instead of rushing. Trusting instead of fearing. And over time, those small shifts become a new rhythm. A rhythm where healing is no longer something you chase, but something that naturally unfolds. Because every single night, without needing recognition, without asking permission, without stopping, your body is still repairing you. Not perfectly, but consistently. Faithfully. Quietly. And maybe the greatest shift you can make is not doing more, not trying harder, not fixing faster, but simply this: stop fighting what was always designed to heal you. If this message stayed with you, follow this channel and walk this healing path slowly, together.